We just looked at the mercy seat, the place where the throne of God and the covering cherubim, the place of mercy. But underneath of it is this ark of the covenant, the communication, the contract that God has made with mankind and that mankind has made with God. Now, Jesus himself is the ark. He's the place that carries the presence of God. But this ark, it says in the book of Hebrews, in heaven still carries three things. Now, John saw the ark still in heaven in the book of Revelation. So the eternal ark is still there and is still carrying these three things. And the three things that the writer of Hebrews says is in this ark as a permanent testimony, as a permanent witness to who God is and how God interacts with his people, is a jar of manna covered with gold, the 2 stone tablets that carry the 10 commandments, and the staff or rod of Aaron that had budded with almond rods. The manna, God's provision, that God supernaturally provides. Those who gathered extra didn't get extra. Those who tried to keep it for another day, it didn't work. God provides because God provides. He gives supernaturally what we cannot get for ourselves. And as a forever reminder that he is Jehovah Jireh, the Lord who provides, he had this jar of manna covered with gold kept. The same manna that if they were to try to keep it overnight would grow worms and would grow rank and would go bad. But because he had said to keep it, it stayed and it maintained. This jar of manna, the provision of the Lord. The second is the 2 commandments, the 2 stone tablets that Moses brought down from the mountain when he was in heaven, that carried the communication of the nature of God. Who is God and what is he like? What is the holiness of God and what does it mean to our lives? These 10 commandments forever identifying that there is holiness, that there is a separation between the holy and the profane, that there is a right way and a wrong way of doing things, and our actions affect things around us. Jesus, it says, did not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill the law. And he fulfilled the perfect requirements of the law because we could not. But that did not lift the requirements of us walking in righteousness. We still get to walk in righteousness because it's who he is, because we no longer have these stone tablets that are written, but we've been given a heart of flesh and a new spirit has been put within us to teach us how to walk in his ways, how to live out his holiness. And the final piece is the staff or the rod of Aaron, a symbol of God's choice of authority. If you read through Numbers chapter 16, I think it's just chapter 16, it might be chapter 16 and 17. It's the story of the nation of Israel challenging and questioning Moses and Aaron's authority and right to have the place that God had given them. And God clearly communicates that he chooses the authority that he puts over his people. And the final piece is each of the tribes would have a representative that would bring their rod, which was a symbol of their authority, of their power to rule. And they would bring it before him, and he had them all put it inside of the tabernacle and leave it overnight. And the next day, all the other rods were the same, but Aaron's rod, it had grown leaves, it had grown buds and full ripe almonds overnight. It had blossomed because God will always bring fruit from the authority that he chooses, not the authority that man chooses. And it's a constant reminder that we are a people that live under authority. And like Jesus witnessed to the centurion, when the centurion said, I too am a man under authority. I say to this one, go, and he goes, and that one, do that, and he does that. And Jesus says, wow, I haven't found greater faith in all of Israel. It was because he understood authority. And this eternal principle forever stands in heaven. God provides. There is a standard of righteousness that looks like the very nature of God. And God is the one that chooses authority. He puts people into places of authority and he takes them down. He is the ultimate authority because he is king. This is another truth we find in the tabernacle of Moses.